Picture a boarding house kitchen in 1922. It is late on a Sunday night. The supper dishes are dried and stacked. The stove is banked for the morning, and the cook has gone up to bed. One man stays behind at the big cast-iron farmhouse sink. He sets a steaming kettle on the drain board, tears open a box of cheap table salt, and measures half a cup into a pot of hot water. He stirs until the salt disappears, then feeds the whole pot slowly down the kitchen drain. He used no store-bought chemicals that night because there were none to buy. The first can drain opener would not reach hardware store shelves until 1923. And that man was not superstitious. He was guarding the one pipe that kept the whole house fed, because a dead kitchen line meant a closed kitchen. That was more than 100 years ago. Tonight, the exact same grease film he was rinsing away is quietly forming inside your own kitchen drain line. So I am going to hand you his Sunday ritual, show you why every piece of it works, tell you straight what it will not do, and near the end, I will give you the one habit that matters even more than the ritual itself. My name is Mark Silverbridge. I have been a licensed plumber for 35 years, and I have cleared more greasy kitchen lines than I could ever count. The ritual you just watched is real. I learned it in my first year in the trade from a journeyman who apprenticed under men working long before drain chemicals existed, and I still run it in my own kitchen every single Sunday. The whole recipe fits on an index card, and I want you to actually make that card, because we are going to build it line by line through this video and read it back in full before we finish. Line 1 goes like this. Half a cup of plain table salt, dissolved in about 2 quarts of hot water, poured down the kitchen drain every Sunday night. 2 quarts is half a gallon. Roughly your big pasta pot filled a third of the way. Heat the water on the stove until it steams hard, but stop before it reaches a rolling boil. Stir the salt in until the water turns clear again. Then pour it down the kitchen sink in a slow, steady stream, taking about a full minute to empty the pot. Do it after the last dishes of the weekend are washed, so the drain gets the whole night to sit quiet with nothing chasing behind it. Total cost, a few pennies of salt and a little heat under the kettle. Total labor, about 90 seconds. That is the entire ritual. So why did hard-nosed working men treat 90 seconds of salt water like a religion? Because of what happens inside that pipe during the 6 days in between. Think about the roasting pan you left on the stove overnight after Sunday dinner. When you went to bed, the drippings were golden liquid. By morning, they were a stiff white shell you could scrape with a spoon. That same transformation happens inside your kitchen drain line, only thinner and slower. Every time you rinse a plate, wash a skillet, or run the dishwasher, a whisper of grease rides along in the water, even in careful households. That warm, greasy water leaves the sink, drops through the trap, and enters the branch line, which is the smaller horizontal pipe that carries your sink water over to the big vertical stack serving the whole house. A few feet into that branch line, the pipe runs cool. The grease chills against the pipe wall, and some of it sticks, exactly the way those roasting pan drippings stiffened overnight. One meal leaves a film you could not even see. A week of meals leaves a tacky coating you could drag a fingertip through. I have seen where this road ends. A few years back, I cleared a kitchen line in an older duplex and pulled back a plug of grease the size of a bratwurst, dense as candle wax, with a chicken bone and a bread bag twist tie set inside it like fossils. That plug was not made in a day. It was laminated, one invisible film at a time, over years of ordinary cooking. Now picture 2 quarts of properly hot water moving through that pipe on Sunday night. The heat sinks into the fresh film the way a warm knife sinks into cold butter. The whole coating goes soft and loose, and the current carries it on to the main stack and out toward the sewer. Where the pipes are bigger, the flow is stronger, and a little traveling grease causes no trouble at all. The hot water has exactly one job. It reverses the weak before the weak can harden into something permanent. That is half of the trick, and honestly, it is the half you probably already suspected. The salt is where the old-timers were smarter than they get credit for. Cheap table salt does two jobs in that pot, and neither one is superstition. Job one is scrubbing. When you pour in a slow stream, the water arrives faster than the last of the salt can fully dissolve. So for a few seconds, the inside of that pipe is being wiped down by a gritty current. Abrasive is the trade word for that, and it just means a material that cleans a surface by rubbing against it, which is the same reason cooks scour a cast iron skillet with coarse salt instead of soap. The crystals tumble along the bottom of the pipe, drag through the softened grease film, and break it up so the water can carry it away. Job two is the smell. That black slime that builds up in every kitchen drain is a living layer of bacteria feeding on food residue, and it is the source of the sour odor you catch when you lean over the sink. Strong, salty water, what an old cook would have called brine, is brutal on those colonies. It will not sterilize the pipe, nothing will. But a weekly brine rinse knocks the bacteria back hard enough that the smell never gets established in the first place. And the pour speed is part of the tool. Dump the pot in one big slosh, and the water blasts through the trap in a couple of seconds. The salt barely touches the walls, and half the heat is gone before the film ever softens. Pour it slow, and the hot brine hugs the bottom of that branch line the whole length of the run, scrubbing and melting the entire way. I have watched old diner cooks pour it with one hand while they wiped the counter with the other, patient as a man watering a seedling. They were not being careful. They were being effective. Speed is the difference between rinsing a greasy skillet under a blast of cold water and letting it soak in hot suds. Same water, completely different result. So there is the machine, laid out plain. Hot water melts the weak of grease before it can set. Salt scrubs the loosened film off the wall and quiets the bacteria behind the stink. Simple ingredients and honest chemistry with no mystery left in it. Quick pause. Everything I teach lives in a book called 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes That Will Save You $10,000. It walks you through 50 repairs step by step, each one built for a homeowner with basic tools and a free Saturday. And together, they can keep thousands of dollars in your wallet. Scan the QR code on your screen to grab it. Now back to that Sunday kettle, because I still owe you the real secret of this ritual, and it never gets talked about. The secret has nothing to do with what is in the pot. It is the calendar hanging on the kitchen wall. Grease buildup in a kitchen line is cumulative, which means every week gets stacked on top of the week before it, like coats of paint on an old door. A film that is 1 week old is thin, soft, and smooth, and hot salt water strips it without a fight. Let it ride for a season, and it thickens into a shaggy lining that narrows the pipe, and a shaggy lining catches things. A coffee ground here, a grain of rice there, a strand of celery off the cutting board. Each snagged crumb gives the next one something to grab. The opening chokes down like a hardening artery, and then one Tuesday night, the sink simply stops swallowing. The Sunday cadence is what prevents that entire story because the film never survives long enough to catch its first crumb. I tell homeowners to think of it like mowing a lawn. Mow every week, and it is a light, easy pass. Skip the whole summer, and you need heavy equipment and a strong back. Same yard, same grass. The only difference is the calendar. The old boarding house men understood that in their bones, which is why the ritual was welded to Sunday night and never skipped. Circle a day on your own calendar the same way. The exact day matters far less than the rhythm. And for those men, this discipline was never folklore. It was payroll. Before retail drain chemicals existed, a boarding house kitchen might push 3 meals a day for 20 boarders through one cast iron drain line, week after week, year after year. A downtown diner ran griddle grease past that same kind of pipe from before sunrise until after the supper rush. A farm kitchen rendered lard by the potful. If the kitchen line died, the kitchen closed, and if the kitchen closed, the money stopped, and people went hungry. So they defended that pipe the same way they oiled their tools and banked their stoves, with a scheduled habit that cost nearly nothing. The first commercial drain opener, a caustic crystal product called Drano, did not appear until 1923, and it took years more to reach every small town shelf. The hot salt water ritual was already old news by then, handed from cook to cook and plumber to plumber, and it did not stop working just because a red can showed up at the hardware store. The journeymen who taught me learned it from men trained in the era of coal stoves and ice boxes. And after 35 years and hundreds of kitchen drain calls of my own, I will tell you plainly what I have seen. The houses that run some version of this weekly rinse are almost never the houses I get called to. No coincidence there. That is cheap. Scheduled maintenance quietly doing the job an expensive service call would otherwise do. Now for the one modern upgrade I fully endorse, and it costs about a nickel. Before you pour, add a single squirt of ordinary dish soap to the pot, the same bottle already sitting on the edge of your sink. Dish soap is an emulsifier, which is a plain word for a substance that lets grease and water mix instead of separating. One end of each soap molecule grabs onto grease and the other end grabs onto water, so the melted film breaks up into tiny droplets that stay suspended in the current instead of re-sticking to the pipe wall a few feet farther down the line. The old-timers did not have modern dish soap, and the ritual still worked fine. You do have it, so use it. Grab the card and write line 2. 1 squirt of dish soap in the pot. Earlier, I promised you the habit that matters even more than the ritual, and this is it, so lean in. The Sunday rinse resets the pipe, but it cannot outwork a household that keeps shoveling grease at it all week. So the old kitchens paired the ritual with an iron rule about where fat was allowed to go. Before any greasy pan or plate touches the dishwater, wipe it down with a paper towel and send that towel to the trash. Bacon fat, burger drippings, the pour-off from the roasting pan, all of it goes into an old jar or a coffee can, and that jar lives in the freezer so it never smells and never spills. When the jar fills up, the whole thing goes out with the garbage. None of it ever goes down the drain, not even with hot water running behind it, because that grease will travel exactly as far as the first cool stretch of pipe, then stop, cool, and stick, sometimes deep in the branch line where no kettle poured at the sink can ever reach it. Wiping a pan takes 10 seconds, and it removes the raw material the clog would have been built from. The Sunday ritual then erases the little that sneaks past. Together, they form a closed loop, and that closed loop is why Grandma cooked for 50 years and never once needed a drain machine in her kitchen. Write line 3 on the card. Grease goes in the jar, never down the drain. 2 cautions before you put the kettle on, and the first one is the difference between this century and the last one. Hot, never boiling. The old-timers poured water at a rolling boil straight into cast iron and threaded steel, and that plumbing shrugged it off the way an anvil shrugs off a hammer. Open the cabinet under your own kitchen sink, and you will almost certainly find white or cream-colored plastic pipe, called PVC in the trade, or its black cousin ABS, joined with glued fittings and soft washers at the slip joints of the trap. Repeated doses of truly boiling water can soften those joints and distort those washers until the trap starts weeping into the cabinet. And a slow cabinet leak will quietly cost you more than any clog ever would. So pull the kettle just before the boil, or run it to a hard steam and let it stand a minute, and you get all the melting power the grease film requires with none of the risk. While we are on cautions, the salt question always comes up. Any salt works. The cheapest cardboard box of plain table salt on the bottom shelf is honestly the best choice, because fine crystals dissolve fastest, and there is no sense paying gourmet prices to season a sewer. Skip the rock salt and the fancy pink stuff. Add the last 2 lines to the card. Hot, never boiling, and pour slow, 1 full minute for the pot. Now the honest scope, because I do not sell miracle cures and I am not going to start tonight. This ritual is prevention, full stop. The slow, greasy strangling of a kitchen line is the #1 reason a plumber gets called out to a kitchen sink, and a weekly hot salt water rinse prevents exactly that failure. What it will not do is open a line that has already stopped. If your sink is standing full of gray water right now, pouring salt water in just gives you deeper gray water, and pouring hot water into a fully blocked line can back it up where you do not want it. A stopped sink is plunger and drain machine territory, which is a different job and a different video. So use a simple drain test to know where you stand. If the water still spins down fast, start the ritual this Sunday, and you are locking in what you already have. If it drains, but drains lazy, run the ritual twice this week and watch whether the line wakes up. If the water stands still, get the line cleared first, then start the ritual the following Sunday so you never meet that clog again. And weigh the money while you decide. The ritual costs pennies a week. The visit it prevents, a technician feeding a motorized cable down your kitchen line, which the trade calls cabling the line, commonly lands between $150 and $250, and it climbs higher on a weekend or a holiday. Pennies against a couple $100, week after week after week. That is the quietest good deal in your whole house. Time to read the finished card back, top to bottom, exactly the way I would tape it inside a cabinet door. Half a cup of table salt and 2 quarts of hot water down the kitchen drain every Sunday night. 1 squirt of dish soap in the pot. Grease goes in the jar, never down the drain. Hot, never boiling. Pour slow, 1 full minute. 5 lines, 90 seconds, pennies a week. That card is the whole inheritance, 100 years of working kitchens distilled onto 1 index card. And since you stayed to the end, 1 bonus for anybody with a garbage disposal. Once a month, right before the Sunday pour, dump a tray of ice cubes and a small handful of that same table salt into the disposal and run it with cold water for about 20 seconds. The ice and the salt scour the grinding chamber and knock crusted food off the impellers, which are the little swinging metal arms that fling scraps against the grind ring. Then the hot salt water follows behind and rinses everything you just loosened on down the line. Cold and gritty first, hot and salty after. Your disposal will smell like nothing at all, which is exactly how a disposal should smell. Picture that boarding house kitchen one more time. Same Sunday quiet, same cast iron sink, same cheap box of salt. That man poured his kettle to protect a payroll and 20 hungry boarders. You will pour yours to protect a free Saturday and a couple $100. He could not call a plumber at midnight, so he made sure he never had to. 100 years later, that is still the smartest plumbing money never spent. One last thing. Before you pay for a service call, get 50 easy plumbing fixes that will save you $10,000. It shows you when a quote is fair, when you are being overcharged, and when a repair is safe to tackle yourself. Scan the QR code on your screen. Then subscribe to the Mark Silverbridge channel for more honest plumbing fixes that keep money in your pocket.